Racing on Sunday takes place out at Turffontein. We've got 9 races on the program, and race number 1 is set to get underway at 11:40. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohn. And Alistair, before we touch on the card out at the Big T on Sunday, obviously once this race meeting does get underway, we'll more or less have an idea of who the final few horses will be taking their place in the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Obviously, with the Tote Oaks and the Tote Derby running at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on the Saturday. But how are you doing, and looking forward to the race meeting?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Raheel. Very exciting. We're less than 3 weeks away from the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. You're right. Obviously, the Tote Oaks and the Tote Derby is the last pit stop, and the last couple of horses really trying to put in their flag for the Hollywoodbets Durbanville. A bad run would have probably taken them out of the reckoning. A good run probably would have made them more enticing to the panel. I think there might be a couple more scratchings. I'm not, from my side, I don't know of any sort of big names that'll be coming out, but I do know of a few horses that are not on the log that will be slipping out before the final declaration stage. So just watch the press for that. Hopefully we're able to get the 18 plus 2 reserves. But I don't think it's going to harm anyone's sort of outlook on the Hollywoodbets Durbanville going into the final field reveal. As for this card on Sunday, it's a reasonably quality card, but it's not an easy card at the same time. I've sidestepped all of the exotics on the card, and I've gone with an all to come, which is against the grain. I think of the exotic players out there will probably look at bar pots and place accumulators, probably their money makers on the card. There are a couple of horses who I think will win, but there's some races where you're going to need to extend the budget a little bit.
Well, race number 1 is a juvenile plate for the fillies of 1160 meters, and the favorite is number 6. Detailed forecast from the Mike and Matthew de Kock yard. Daughter have given the green light at 15-10. Number 5, Anchorage, is at 2-1. It's then 7-1 and better bar those. Now, it's quite interesting that the horses that are winners are at double figure quotes here, but I think the market has sort of got it spot on, and I'd lean towards this filly Anchorage on her 2 runs to date. Found Constellation too good last time out, and yeah, I think that she could be the answer in race number 1.
I'd like to think so, Raheel. She put up lovely work going into this race, better work than what she put in her 2 starts, and that was good work as it was. A lot of guys were keen to take the ride, but no reason to take off Muzi with 2 seconds. What's interesting here is that the de Kock team have a good line. I know what they think of Constellation. I know what Mike and Matthew think of Constellation. I don't know what they think of Detailed Forecast, unfortunately, but they do have a line. If Anchorage is a length and a half, in theory, worse than Constellation, then they'll know where Detailed Forecast fits in. Drawn towards the inside as Detailed Forecast, down the straight over 1160, 1 out of 9. So on a quick track, I don't think it's too much of a hindrance, but you'd still rather see a higher number draw. Plus, remember the mother, she was very, very good, trained by Alan Greff. She was also owned by Mary and the Wilkebos team. So there should be a lot of speed there with number 6, Detailed Forecast. I respect the money and respect the fact that she's at the top of the board. I hear what you say about all the race runners. Number 2, Let's Go Lola, finished behind Anchorage and now comes in worse off at the weights. So I see no reason why Let's Go Lola will finish in front of Anchorage. And I don't know about the form lines of all these other horses, Raheel. Fair Proposal to the eye won encouragingly. So I think she could be the first of the winners home, if that makes sense. I see she's at about 16-1. Versace on the track beat Raceway. Yes, Raceway went to Hollywoodbets Greyville during the week and couldn't win. Just having a look at that form, the winner was Wings of Ice, won a weak maiden. Hawksdale got hammered straight out of the maidens as well. Cherry Lady, I think, will be a big runner during the week in a maiden handicap. And Victory in Orleans won at 100-1 on debut. So obviously very little confidence coming into that run. I would venture to say probably not as much or little confidence coming straight out the maiden. So 5 from 6, I think the 2 numbers to work around. If you are looking for 1 or 2 others, number 1, Fair Proposal of the winners to the eye was the most encouraging.
Moving along to race number 2, 12:15 is the off time. It will be the start of the bipod juvenile plate, 1160 meters. Scratch number 7, Trust. It's a field of 7 that remain. Number 2, Jan van Gooyen, your favorite at 4-10. It's 7-2 and better bar those. Alistair, when it comes to juveniles, it's often very, very easy to get carried away, especially when these juveniles trot up on debut. But this horse, he was just so impressive. Number 2, Jan van Gooyen, and he did everything right. I mean, the way he moved out to the start on debut signaled that this could be a real smart sort in the making. And he put that field to bed quite comfortably on debut, winning by 4.5 lengths. And he does look to be a horse that's going places. And for Mike and Matthew de Kock to step him up just 12 days later, I mean, he must have taken that run exceptionally well.
Yeah, he must have, and I think there's obvious avenues to try and get him into Hollywoodbets Durbanville, number 2, Jan van Goyen, in the 1400-meter golden horseshoe. You're right, he looked the part on debut. He was supported in the market. The whisper was out, not the whisper, the noise was out about him, which we disseminated on the show, and he beat Chapbook by 4.5 lengths and never, ever looked in doubt. The form line obviously hasn't had any chance to work out, but I think there were some useful horses in behind. I think Palace Attack, the half-brother to Fire Attack, although he's nowhere near as good as Fire Attack, I think he's a winner in waiting. There are a few others here. Carnarvon looked like he had reasonably solid form that was ready to win. So I think overall there'll be a couple of winners. I don't think this form line's going to spark up, but I think there will be a couple of direct winners as time goes on. Again, drawn towards one. I mean, Mike and Matthew Ducott would be wishing that this was on the inside track with their inside draws down the straight. But with that said, what Jan van Goyen did first up was seriously impressive. Yes, he'll have a couple of more harder horses to beat this time around, but I expect him to come through. The 2 horses that I think could chase him home that deserve a mention, we'll see how the constellation form works out in race number 1 with Anchorage. Number 3, Nyaka Nyaka, is not a horse I'd totally write off. And likewise, Victory in Orleans. Shadowfax, go watch that debut. I don't know how this horse ran second. It was a mile back. He was all at sea. He's evidently looking for much further. He's related to a grey horse that was trained by Brett Crawford, whose name escapes me at the moment. Dashing Scarlet, I think, was the horse's name, who went a mile, no problem at all. So Shadowfax probably looking for a trip, but that first run was very encouraging. Again, I don't know how the form line's ultimately going to work out. So far, there's no highlights, but he can only step up. At number 8, Woensdag Courant was supported to the exclusion of everyone else on debut and just got stuck in the mud behind Carlfoot. So there could be a little bit of improvement there at 8-1. I'm not going to take on Jan van Goyen, but I think that he could get into the money. Winner from that form line includes Sylvan Warrior. So there's a little bit of food for thought. But all in all, Jan van Goyen, 4-10, hard horse to beat. He doesn't make up my all to come, though. That'll be starting a race later.
Yep, race number 3. Next up, maiden plate, 1400 meters at distance, 12:50 is the off time. Start off the place accumulator, and number 10, Radio Star, is the top one here, trading at 8-10 in the market. Unfortunately, he's got a deep draw to contend with, but from what we saw from this horse on debut, Alistair, when second to Take No Prisoners, who unfortunately did absolutely nothing for that form line just the past weekend, but this horse, very stiff to not get the job done.
Rahil, you're asking for trouble when you're going draw 12 out of 12 over 1400 meters on the Turffontein standside track. But you got Lorena on board. I know what the connections think of number 10 Radio Star. I know what the plan is. It's not Hollywoodbets Durbanville. It's Gold Cup Day with the Son of Fire away. And if he is what they think, then he ought to win this race. I would ordinarily look to bypass a horse drawn 12 out of 12 over 1400 meters. It's not my style at all. But if you look around at the form here, we've got horses that have been beaten 20 lengths by Pioneer Square and War Report. He holds Greenlight Racer, who would ordinarily make a little bit of appeal with the improvement from run 1 to run 2. Silver Longsword has been rested and now gelded, so probably going to come on with a run under the belt. Chieftain Shield and Johnny Drama are professional maidens. I don't rate the Got the Feeling for much from the VAR on the 29th of May either. By process of elimination, I'll be surprised if number 10 Radio Star didn't win. It's not going to be easy from draw 12. I don't expect him to come home and win by a furlong. I expect it to be a hard-fought win. But that's the type of win that you probably want to see going forward. Sort of give him a little bit of an edge, a little bit of fight, a little bit of spirit going into the big races that they're targeting. And I expect him to come out on top. The biggest danger is his draw. If he doesn't overcome the draw, and with the professional steering of Gavin Lorena, I see no reason why he won't. And obviously going to take the pace on trust. But I think Radio Star will probably be a little bit handier than what he was on debut. If he has no luck from the draw, put it like this, we'll know after 400 meters if we're in trouble or not. But if he gets a nice run in transit, very, very hard horse to beat. Like I said, the only thing who can beat him is himself in the draw.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment here with number 10, Radio Star. No use looking for spooks. He looks to be the right horse here at 8-10. Race number 4, maiden plate fillies and mares, 1400 meters, 25:1. The off-time start off the pick 6. Number 12, Japanese Garden, is your favorite, trading at 2-1 in the market. 22-10 about number 11, that is Daisy Jones. Number 1, Green Street, is at 5-1. It's then 10-1 and better bar those. So the fourth race start off the pick 6. What's your thoughts here?
complicated race. I'm definitely going to lean towards Daisy Jones, though, Raheel, number 11 on the card. But again, but for the draw, I would make her a good thing. You gain 14 out of 14 over 1,400 metres, Turffontein stands sub track. But you got one of the elites on board in the form of Simango Kamalo, so that's got to count for something. Debut run was solid, finishing 2 lengths behind Sister Golden Hair. Direct winner from that form was Waiting on Charlie. Third horse Opera Fans come out and run second. Miss Novak, who wasn't beaten far, was only a length and a half behind Daisy Jones. I know is held in high regard. And the winner, Sister Golden Hair, has knocked over quite a few encouraging fillies through her career so far. So number 11, Daisy Jones, for me, sets the standard, but the draw is a worry. I don't know the plans for Daisy Jones, but I anticipate if she's running on the same day as Radio Star, and knowing that Radio Star is targeting Gold Cup Day, that Daisy Jones is probably the window of prep runs probably going to stack up nicely for number 11, Daisy Jones. So I'd imagine that she's also targeting something in KZN later on through champion season. So I'd reckon that a win or a big run would be expected from number 11, Daisy Jones. But again, the draw is a worry. If the draw is a worry, the number 12, Japanese Garden, stacks up as her biggest danger. The last run behind Desire, massive field. She stayed on nicely to finish a length and a half. Gavin Lorena sticks with his daughter of Danon Platina, Futaro and Zaki. Penultimate start behind Back from War was a very good effort as well. The direct winner from that form line was Fair Proposal, who runs in race number 1, so we'll learn a lot about that form. And obviously Bold Action, who ran 4th, has also come and won from that form. So there's enough substance behind number 12, Japanese Garden, to make a strong case for her. As far as the pick 6 is concerned, even though I haven't played one, they'd be the only 2 horses that make the grade for me.
Number 1, Green Street, no chance in this lineup?
Oh, I've been for her so many times, Raheel. I don't know. I've drawn the line on her. Well beaten last time by Chacha. I don't know if her form lines are strong enough. Third run after a break might give her some sort of hope. But I think that she's going to need to find a weak field without improvers when she gets out the maidens.
Yep, the 2-year-olds are young horses to dominate here. Numbers 11 and 12 in race number 4. Race number 5, next up, maiden plate fillies and mares. 2,000 meters is the distance for this event. And number 9, Into Dancing, tops the boards at 13 to 10. Number 1, Lava Lamp, is a 2-to-1 shot. It's 4-to-1 about Hopscotch, 5-to-1 and Better Bar Those. Now, Gavin Lorena takes her out aboard this 2-year-old daughter of Ideal World. And I think this may be the first 2-year-old to go over 2,000 meters. I mean, you can correct me on that. But this filly certainly caught the eye. She was slow out the gates last time out, but was making good, strong late headway. And I expected to turn the form around with number 1, Lava Lamp, despite her being a 2-year-old going over the trip for the first time.
Yeah, I think she'll turn the form around. I mean, she's half a kilo worse off for call it a quarter of a length. But Raheel, what I saw last time, where she came from, the way that she's finished off her races, you're right, 2,000 meters for a 2-year-old is not for sissies. But she's taking it on. She runs like she'll get the trip. Gavin Lorena takes it out. Stuart Pettigrew's yard's been very quiet, but it's a matter of time before a yard of that caliber turns around. Good improvement from run 1 to run 2. We know the Pettigrew way is not to ready them up first time out, so natural improvement into the second start. I know that she's expected to win here. I think that she'll win because she's improving. If she's ready for 2,000 meters, she will take all the beating. So she's the second part of my all to come, obviously, after the Azzy Horse Radio Star in race number 2. I do have respect for number 1, Lava Lamp. And funny enough, Fanny Bronkhorst will have a good line here with Hopscotch. He trains Bold Action. Bold Action ran second to Lava Lamp. Bold Action beat Lava Lamp, who ran second, and Into Dancing ran third last time. So Fani will know where number 8, Hopscotch, stands after running a good second, but off a very light weight and a maiden handicap behind, Waiting on Charlie. Muzieni now takes over. But I just think that was sudden improvement from Hopscotch, and you can make the motivation that the 52 kilos helped her to no end. I think Into Dancing making more natural improvement, and very hard horse for me, a very hard horse to beat for me in the first leg of jackpot number 1.
13 to 10, the price about this 2-year-old daughter of Ideal World, and likely to start shorter come race time. Moving along to race number 6 next up, another maiden plate over the 2,000 meter trip. And number 9, Inflame, is your 33 to 10 favorite. Number 1, Santiago's Pride, is at 7 to 2. Number 2, Mizzen Sword, 4 to 1, along with Heroic Act, 7 to 1, and Better Bar Those. Alistair, race number 6, a type of race where tickets could certainly fall away in those exotics.
I think it's set up for that. I'm taking it back. Inflame favourite. I can tell you his work is not Not good. It wasn't good before his first start. It wasn't good before his second start, and he showed massive improvement. It was a huge surprise, a massive surprise, and a reason to keep him going, number 9 in Flame. And had the race been another 200 meters, he would have won. He was absolutely taking off. He had a flat spot at the 400, but he did his best work late behind Titans of War. I mean, that was a great surprise, and like I said, motivation to stick to him. And he's found a weak field here, but I cannot give you any confidence with the son of Irish Flame, other than the fact that what you saw last time was what everyone saw last time. He would have won the race had it been an extra 200 meters, but it was a weak field. Not that this is any great shakes. And
yeah, that's the 9 horse in Flame. Just touching him, not particularly great work heading into the lead up of his last start, and he is favourite here, and I'm sure Candice Dawson will obviously have a line between number 9 in Flame and with the likes of Pioneer Square, who did beat Santiago's Pride last time out by about 7 3/4 of a length. So, yep, that's number 1 Santiago's Pride, and then number 9 in Flame. Alistair does like the look of number 1 Santiago's Pride in this contest, who is currently at 7-10 in the market. We've got the likes of Mizzen Sword, Heroic Act, both horses who have been well tried maidens and have had their fair share of chances. Alistair, number 1 Santiago's Pride, a horse that you quite like here though.
Yeah, I think Santiago's Pride is the horse that they all need to beat. The son of Futura, James De Harbour, takes it right. Just having a look at the changes, I know that there will be a lot of guys who would not be keen on a horse that's got steel shoes on, and at the time of recording he's still got steel shoes on, but he ran with steels last time, finishing 8 lengths behind Pioneer Square, which is one of his best starts. Clearly running second 3 times tells you where he is. He is a professional maiden. But I don't know what you were saying about Mizzen Sword. Mizzen Sword over this trip, 2,000 meters, it's a massive gamble for me. It's probably a sort of smack of desperation, because I think this horse is ready to win, but I think that he's ready to win over 1,400 meters, and 2,000 meters is a massive chance taken by Mark Kahn. If it pays off, good luck to him, and very well played. But I think Santiago's Pride is just more the horse that looks most ready over 2,000 meters to get the job done, so I'm most keen on his chances when it comes to race number 6.
Yeah, number 2, Mizzen Sword. I see he also gets a blinkers, which is quite interesting that he goes over the trip for the first time, but let's see what sort of effect that does have. But number 1, Santiago's Pride, the one to perhaps be with you at 7-2. Race number 7, middle stakes, 1,160 meters, 3 is the off time. Wide open race, Guy Gibson, Bob's Your Uncle, 11-2 favourites here, 7-1. Passage of Power, Banff has found support from 14-1 into 7. Number 9, Black Egret is an 8-1 shot along with Warm Winter Night. It's then 10-1 and Better Bar those. Trappy middle stakes over the sprinting trip, and this race here, the draws will certainly come into effect.
And you say that, Raheel, and you're spot on that the draws are going to come into effect. But the kicker to that is luck and running. I've seen so many races down the straight to Turffontein of late where everyone wants to get to the outside rail, and if you're not in the first or at worst second wave of horses, you're sweating on a run the whole way, which also helps us going forward, because we can pick out 1 or 2 unlucky horses, quite a few that I'm looking forward to when they do step out. Now, this race, very interesting, Raheel. They're plenty of form. You'd want as many horses as you can have, or as you can afford rather, going into the pick 6 and the jackpots. But when having a look at 2 horses that represent a little bit of value in the race, one of them supports it, not surprise, and that's Banff. I still think this horse is above average, and if there is any improvement to come with the gelding, and if he's going to come out and run a good race fresh, which does look to be his way, because obviously he won his debut, he was given a long break, would have needed his first run back, but then came back from a mini break, ran 3rd to Winds of Change, was placed in the Grade 1 computer form sprint. I think number 8 Banff might be set up for a big run here under Callan Murray, hard up on the outside. If he's able to be sharp enough and not left with too much to do, I expect him to be doing his best work late and a good top 4 choice. But I'm going to take an each way play here, and the fact that we've got a field of 16, hopefully there'll be no scratchings. We get top 4 value here as far as payouts are concerned. 15 Richard the First. and I don't think he's a lunatic selection. I think he's well overpriced. Ratings come down from a 96 down to an 89. I thought his last start was good, made up a stack of ground. The extra 160 meters is going to help to no end as well. His first run for the yard was a ripper behind Warman tonight. He made up a lot of ground over the final 200 meters. He was scratched in between his penultimate and last run when the bridle broke at the start, and he didn't want to load. He was an absolute basket case on that occasion, but he wasn't last time out. Here's the absolute value in the race. Number 15, Richard the First. I'm convinced he'll be in the first four, and for those that have a little win bet on him, like I will do, I think he'll be giving us a little thrill at the end of the race. I expect him to be doing his best work late, but then again, we do run into the possibility of not having luck in running. If he gets the gaps, Rehill, this is a huge chance.
20 to 1 is the current price about number 15, Richard the First, getting 3 to 1, a top 4 place. And let's see how this son of William Longsword can go. Would be a nice result for the exotics. Race number 8, next up, penultimate race on the program. It's an MR 100 handicap, 1600 meters a trip. Joint favourites, number 6, Artist Model, Claw, both at 4 to 1. Number 7, Presley, is at 7 to 1. Press On Regardless, a 6 to 1 shot. It's in 7 to 1 and better bar those. Alistair, what's your thoughts on race number 8?
Very interesting race this Hill. I think about half the field have good winning chances. I want to start with number 1, Grand Crescendo. He's got by far the best form on offer, having run third at Grade 1 level at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Gold Cup Day, trying a few different pieces of equipment. His work remains of a high quality, but he's obviously doing funny things on the racetrack in terms of hanging all over the place. Trent Mayhew's ridden him twice in work this week, likes what he feels. Compression mask and earmuffs go on to Grand Crescendo. If he doesn't get up to his antics, and well, he can't hang too far towards the inside. He's got the inside rail right next to him, but if he doesn't hang around, he's going to be right there. But I've tipped him at his last start. I've tipped him a few times before. As you can see, runs to Winds of Change when giving him weight, runs to Royal Force out the top draw, runs to VJ's Angel out the top draw, but that he can completely drop the bundle from time to time. What I'm saying is, don't leave him out. Can't have a bet on Grand Crescendo, but do not leave him out. Expect that if he does put it all together, he can win. But if he doesn't put it all together, he might be a distance behind. There are a few other horses here that I'm a fan of, that I think have a lot of ability. I think number 5, Command Pilot, overall has under-delivered. He should not finish in front of Claw in the back of the last run, but I think he'll finish a lot closer. 6, Artist Model would have needed that last run badly. He was unmarked the cock-like, but he took advantage of wet weather and fitness avenues with the runs between 9 days on the 15th of February and the 24th of February. And I think the only reason why he got so close to Zuzan was the fact that he was fit and had a hard run just a week earlier, while everyone else was sitting in the box waiting for the rain to pass. Given a well-deserved break, he'll run a lot better and a lot closer to what he did to Claw last time out. But if you obviously like those two, then Claw's got to come into the picture. And then 2 others that I want to mention. 8, the Africa House, hasn't won in over a year, but definitely good enough to give things a shake. He's consistent to horses that would fit in quite promisingly in a race of this nature. And then number 10, Press On Regardless. We all know on the 1st of March, he ran miles above his rating, took advantage of that with an easy win against weak opposition on the 29th of March. 2 fair runs since, awkward draw, but lightweight's got to bring him into the picture. So yeah, about half the field have winning chances in race number 8. Very tricky race. All in all, I lean towards 6, 9 and 1 probably being the horses that I'd most focus on.
Yeah, number 1 could be a bit of value there at 14 to 1 in the market. A Grand Crescendo with his rating dropping quite nicely, but a race where you probably want to look for a bit of cover. Race number 9, final race on the day. Fillies and Mares 90 handicap, 1600 meters a trip, 20 past 4 is the off time. Palace Dancer, Accept Cookies, numbers 2 and 8 are your 7 to 2 joint favourites. Number 1 and 6 are both at 4 to 1. It's in 7 to 1 and better bar those. This filly, Too Late My Mate from the Alec Laird yard, her rating has dropped now to a 90, and I've expected a bit more from this filly, given I thought 2-year-old career was quite fair, and she hasn't particularly set the tracks alight as a 3-year-old, but I think she could pop up one of these days, Alistair.
Absolutely, she's on my radar. Number 3, Too Late My Mate. she just need another rating drop before we see fireworks. I actually give her a winning chance here, Raheel. There are a couple horses that I like. Palace Dancer, hard to knock. Her consistency. Too Late, My Mate, like I said, very much on the radar. Except Cookie's very difficult to write off. Richard Faree takes her right despite a deep draw. I thought one easy in the margin suggested from a bad draw last time out. But Raheel, there's a little bit of value here. Number 10, Future Date, going to make up the fourth leg of my all to come. I was blown away by her run coming back from a break on the 5th of June. She'd been off for, 8 months. Her rating came down naturally because of obviously being off over 6 months. She reassessed the rating. She went down to an 80, which she stays off. She ran like a horse who didn't need the run too badly. Certainly at the 400 when looking like winning, and just faded late. She's going to come on any amount. 53.5 kilos on the back of number 10, Future Date. I've always maintained that over a mile she'll come into her own. She's had 2 starts over a mile for a comprehensive win over a very moderate field, to be fair. And then last time behind Warning Sound, where behind her was a horse held in high regard of Tony Peter, whose name escaped me. He went off at a very short price. I'll pick up the name right now. It was Gregarious. There's a lot of value to be had about Future Date. In fact, the more that I've spoken about this card, even though you're going to get an all to come in just a few seconds, into Dancing, Future Date, and then a place bet on Richard I, I'd put that into the play as well. And even though I've sidestepped the exotics, I think that there's a nice all to come in the offing here.
Yep, number 10, Future Date, 7-1 the price about this daughter of Futura. And she could be a nice inclusion into all exotics. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now. As Alistair has touched on, it is an all to come. And that all to come will begin with the running of race number 3. Alistair, take it away.
So here we go. Race 3, number 10, Radio Star to win. Race 5, number 9, Into Dancing to win. Race 6, number 1, Santiago's Pride to win. And race 9, number 10, Future Date to win. So, get on to Hollywood Bets, work it all out, get your price on that nice little quad, and maybe it'll set you up quite nicely for the rest of the month and into the next.
Yeah, absolutely. Build that Hollywoodbets Durbanville July kitty. Alistair, thanks very much. All the best. Enjoy Hollywoodbets Scottsville on the Saturday, and have a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, it's a weird day coming to the races in Durban as a spectator, in KZN as a spectator, but really looking forward to it.
Yeah, all the best with racing out at the Big T on Sunday.